What up? What up? Tonight I'm going to be reacting to some reviews of the movie Predator Badlands. Been listening to some of them from the Culture Warrior community, which I still watch a few of those channels. And I've noticed that I think these people either haven't seen the movie or they're fucking lying about it, because I just saw the movie and I don't know, I was at work, had these videos playing in the background, and I'm just like, that didn't fucking happen. So how about we take a look at them right now and see if I have anything to say on the fly. Boosh. First up, Critical Drinker. Disney consumes another franchise. Disney. Because Disney owns Fox. This is the thing I've been seeing them doing. They just ignore the fact that this is a 20th century production. Because Disney owns Fox, so it's a Disney movie. And they keep on repeating that. That's the big thing that they all keep repeating, and it keeps getting funnier every time they do it. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, did we call Miramax movie Disney movies? No, we didn't. Because although Disney owned Miramax, Miramax was doing its own thing. They weren't Disney movies. But, I mean, you get what you're saying, but it's getting repeated by their millions of followers collectively, I believe. I think there's millions of people who watch this type of content now. How many people follow Nerdrotic? 265,000. Some of them have to have YouTube channels in the millions. Does Critical Drinker? All right, we'll see. Let's take a look. Critical Drinker, yeah, 2.38 million. Sure. And you go down to these fucking comments. The comments of these are always a trip. Oh, I guess I was saying some shit. Disney is a true predator. You live long enough. Let's just jump into the fucking video. They have their catchphrases though, and everyone uses the catchphrases, and it's really tired, and I'm sick of reading it. Full disclosure, I still watch Critical Drinker sometimes. I'm gonna see what he does, but this is definitely not my favorite review of mine here.
Really is a matter of.
It's widely speculated the Critical Drinker doesn't actually watch a lot of the movies that he reviews. Let's see if I pick up on any inconsistencies here.
Perspective. For example, your boyfriend isn't really a useless, effeminate pussy who makes your skin crawl, he's actually just redefining masculinity. And I'm not actually drunk right now, I'm just redefining sobriety. Or in this case, Predator Badlands isn't actually a goofy buddy comedy complete with cute animal sidekicks, an insecure protagonist with daddy issues who has to learn to connect with his emotions. Wait.
Okay. Right there, that's him poisoning the well in the movie. I saw the same movie.
To learn to connect
with his emotions. His emotions are anger and wanting to kill things, and he's pretty much on the same page at the end of the movie too. He makes a few allies, but it's not at all the way that he is summarizing
with
it there.
daddy issues who has to.
Daddy issues. That's something they'll repeat. Oh, this is why I have Nerdrotic bring up. Nerdrotic planted the seed. He was the first one to say, it's Predator with daddy issues. Now, there's going to probably be some spoilers in this video, if anyone's actually watching this, or this ends up being put into a video. But daddy issues. At the beginning of the movie, the main character, the Predator's brother, is murdered in front of him by his father. And then he's launched off the planet. And he is vowing revenge against his father. His daddy issue is that he wants his father dead. He wants to stab his father to death. To call it daddy issues makes it sound effeminate and gay, which is all intentional. And this is a xenomorph as a pet and a predator with daddy issues. See, this is the thing. Also, they hated a lot on Alien Earth, and I was just thinking about when the movie Alien vs Predator came out. What a fucking disappointment that was, and how for 20 plus years since then, the fans of these franchises have been begging the studios to not play it safe and hire just a director and try to make something that will appease normal audiences. Go to the comics, embrace the comic book material. And to a certain extent, both Alien Earth and this new Predator movie have. And what are we getting? The people are like, what's this? And they're saying, this is a predator would never do that. I'm like, that's straight up from the fucking comic books. Now these culture warriors, grifter types, like now they're truly the tourists. But yeah, it sucks. If Predator Badlands would have came out in 2007, 2008, people's minds would have been blown. They would have been like, what? The Weyland-Yutani group? That's from Alien, and it's in this Predator movie? It's like we've been spoiled. It's like we don't deserve Predator movies, because if someone's gonna bring all this new stuff to the table, to the big screen, and all's the fandom type creators are doing is just fucking bitching and moaning about it, then who do you think who do you want taking over the Alien Predator movies? Because we brought Shane Black back in 2018. He's from the first one. He'll really respect the material. The Predator is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. It's one of the worst movies ever made, and I'm not exaggerating. It fucking sucks. And that was 7 years ago, and now we're getting something totally different that's written and directed by someone who obviously does love the franchise and has probably read all through these comics and is actually doing something new and interesting with it instead of rehashing the same bullshit except not as good. And it's just like, so what do you want? You hate this. Obviously, we hated what they were doing with Shane Black. And it's like, what the fuck do you want? You didn't like what Fox was doing with it. You don't like what fucking Disney's going to do with it. Or Fox owned by Disney. So it's like, what are we doing here? Do you just don't want Predator movies? Or do you just want constant remakes of the original? It's been done. And then in the second Predator, it was done but in a city. And then we had a over 10-year Predator drought. Alien vs. Predator, total piece of shit. Alien vs. Predator Requiem. You know, I was happy at the time just because they made it rated R. It was sort of like pizza. I mean, even if Predator's awesome, so even when it sucks, it's still kind of good. Just because Predators are cool. Predators are cool. And then what did we get? 2010's Predators, which is actually pretty damn good, but it didn't make any money, and it was soon forgotten. And of course, there's Shane Black, and now this guy, the same guy, made Prey, which I think it's okay. It's good. It's not great. I haven't rewatched it since. That new animated movie he directed, which was pretty cool too. And now we have this. So we've gotten 3 Predator movies in the past 5 years. None of them have been bad, and only thing anyone could do is complain.
Secure protagonist with daddy issues who has to learn to connect with his emotions, weightless CGI combat scenes, and wacky banter from a quirky android co-star.
They're really playing up how annoying she was in the movie, too. I wouldn't say anything she said was wacky. She wasn't wacky. When she's first introduced, they have a montage of him carrying her through the mountains, and she's asking him questions nonstop, and even I am just like, oh, this is going to be annoying if she keeps this up. But no, it's just that one scene. And there was also another scene. They're going to talk about the baby Grogu of this movie, which they're right to a point. They put in this cutesy animal character, which felt a little out of place. And there was even a scene, because, you know, guys, I walked in ready to hate this movie. I walk in ready to hate any movie. If this movie is woke as fuck, I would say so. But there was a scene where it was like a cutesy bonding scene between him and this Baby Yoda type character. I say it's fair to call it that. And I'm just like, I don't like this at all. But it was just one scene, and they stopped right there. It's one scene. I didn't like it, but absolutely did not ruin the movie, because this is a movie of just monster fight after monster fight after monster fight, and the CGI is top notch, especially for nowadays when everything looks like crap. This looks better than most Star Wars. Yeah, Badlands does kick ass. This looks better than a lot of the CGI we're seeing out of Lucasfilm, and it looked way better than MCU. MCU's been looking really rough. I saw that goddamn what was it? Captain America Brave New World. That cherry blossom scene looked ridiculous. Red Hulk's a cartoon character, and he looked like he was green screened into the scene. It looked like puke. But yeah, this, whatever I was saying, thumbs up, almost all the way. But yeah, let's keep going. I'm supposed to be responding to this, and I'm pretty much just giving you my Predator Badlands review. My official review in one blurb, more like Predator Badass. A plus B minus. Oh no, A minus B plus.
Quirky android co-star that feels more like an aborted Mandalorian script than anything to do with the Predator universe. No, it's actually redefining what a Predator movie should be. Now, I can't say I was exactly bursting with anticipation when I went into this one, partly because the concept of a Predator movie told from the Predator's point of view felt like a fundamental betrayal of the very thing that makes them compelling.
Okay, here's another common thing we're going to see in the two videos we're going to watch, is they keep bringing up that Predator's supposed to be a horror movie. Now, I bring up the comics again. Comics are action comics with some horror elements, and Aliens isn't pure horror either. It's the second one is a straight up action movie. Like they're more than just horror movies. So reject the idea that this isn't a real Predator movie because it's supposed to be horror. No, but yeah, it's expanding on all these characters and sci-fi elements that were originally debuted in a monster movie from the 80s. The comic books have expanded on this, and people want to see movies expanding on this shit too. So I reject the argument that this be a betrayal of. I can't do his fucking accent. But what? No, isn't it? Oh no, that's British.
Mystique, partly because those CGI heavy trailers with the horrible Predator redesign didn't do much to win me over.
It's not a fucking redesign. The Predator is not one thing. The Predator is a species of animals, and they explained when you first saw the first image of this guy,
me over, and partly
the first image of this Predator, they told you he's the runt of the litter, and drink your toxin word salads. Yes. They told you at the debut, they showed a picture of this character, and like he's a runt and he's an underdog, and just like, oh yeah, he's a runt and an underdog because we have to have like a fucking screenplay because it's supposed to be a movie, not a video game. So they mentioned it's a runt, and this is the other thing. This movie takes place hundreds of years after any of the Predator movies. Hundreds of years later. The Predator movies take place in the 80s and 90s, and even the Alien vs. Predator take place in the 2000s. This movie takes place hundreds of years in the future. So the fact that people are getting so upset, like, this Predator looks different than the one in the original movie. I mean, everybody looks different. I don't think people are just bullshitting that they don't like the design, but I don't know why people freaking out at the design. They say the design in the 80s is better. I'm like, yeah, if it's standing still, but they couldn't have pulled off what they did in this movie in the 80s. This is a guy in a costume. Some of it is CGI, but they have fucking prosthetics on him, and he's running around doing fucking action scenes. They couldn't have done any of this in the 80s. Or 90s, or even the early 2000s. They could not have pulled this off and had it look as good as it does. And if you see the movie, it's convincing. It's not. I wasn't just like, oh, that's so fake. I'm just like, I believed him as a character on screen the whole movie. Have you noticed how all of these critics know shit about the actual lore of Predator? I'm right before you came in here, I was bringing up how I see a lot of complaints about things that are in like Alien Earth and in this movie, and people are like, that would never happen in Predator. I'm like, it does in the fucking comic books, and all you motherfuckers, all you culture war motherfuckers talk about is they have to stay true to the source material in the comic. We can't have any swaps of any kind and do all this stuff. They'll use it when it backs up their like little pet issues, but then when it's in an important thing like this, they're taking stuff from the source material that's been around for 30 years, and it's just they're coming off like as like posers. No? Yeah.
CGI heavy trailers with the horrible Predator redesign didn't do much to win me over.
So yeah, it's not a redesign, it's just a different Predator. I forgot to mention, he says that the action in this is weightless and CGI heavy. It's CGI heavy, but in my opinion, this is a thought I had during the movie. It's just that the action scenes actually felt very weighted and real and actually suspenseful, especially when this motherfucker is fighting like a bunch of androids with machine guns and stuff. Like, that is like visceral action. It's like actually really well choreographed. And if you look at like the MCU stuff where it just looks like they have a template, all right, plug in this character CGI here and they'll do the Iron Man zoom around, flip around thing. And it's so tired. Like, this was fresh, good, solid action.
And partly because of early reviews from intellectual giants like Grace Randolph, who boldly gushed over the film's humanization of the Predator and a possible romantic relationship with a fucking androids. Stuff like this is why women's fiction should be banned. Jesus, the amount of glazing this film's been getting on social media would have you believe it's the best thing since the 1987 original. In fact, according to Rotten Tomatoes, it's actually better, and it's not even close.
I actually, in anticipation of this, I looked at the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes of the original Predator, and most of them are actually from the 80s. Every of their review is mentioning, just like, oh, here's another one of these movies in the tradition of Rambo and the Terminator. And this one, most of the reviews are just like, oh, it's not as good as Rambo or the Terminator, stuff like that. So surprisingly, this was not as... I always thought that this would have been a critically acclaimed 80s movie, but I just looked through the reviews, and this does get better reviews than the original Predator, and I don't agree with that. I think the original Predator it's a fucking classic.
Bullshit! Off it! Fuck off, Rotten Tomatoes. This is why nobody listens to professional reviewers anymore. Whatever the cost...
But see, that's a stupid conclusion to come to. It's a stupid conclusion. It's a review aggregator. I think there's only like... I think there's more reviews up for Predator Badlands than there is for the original Predator, because the movie came out and people reviewed it like 15, 20 years before the Rotten Tomatoes website was even invented. They don't have archives of all of the reviews or whatever. It was different times. So you shouldn't even be thinking that, oh, Rotten Tomatoes is saying that this new Predator is better than the original. No, that's not what it says. It's just an aggregator. You have to look a little closer into the things to really figure this shit out. Predator 1, Predator 2, Predators, Badlands, AVP. That's your order of like? I feel that. It's some my mind might be a little more remixed than that, but
of selling your soul to your corporate overlords, I hope it was worth it, you bunch of dicks. Anyway, let's talk about this unholy union twixt Predator and Disney, shall we? The movie kicks off on the Predator homeworld, which funnily enough looks almost exactly like the other planet where the bulk of this film takes place. Hats off for the...
No, it fucking doesn't. I mean, look at it. You can see this is the predator planet. It's a jagged rock dust planet. It it's like desert and jagged pointed rocks. The planet that he goes to is like all forest and jungle. And there's mountains there too, but they're not shaped like this. So what is he fucking talking about? What is Drinker talking about here? It's like not something that you could overlook. The sets are a lot different.
World, which funnily enough looks almost exactly like the other planet where the bulk of this film takes place.
And almost exactly nothing
Hats
at all.
off for the imaginative environmental design, chaps.
And you're getting a laugh because if you add the laugh in, it's like you said something funny.
Anyway, for that reason, I'm gonna call it Generic Alien Planet Number 1, because that's all it is. This is also where we meet our main man, Deck, but henceforth I shall name him Lumpy, because it gives me literally seconds of amusement, and I need to take whatever wins I can get from this one. Anyway, Lumpy...
I was gonna say, Drinker mentions that he watched this on his TV. I'm like, what kind of bootleg fucking cut are you watching of this? Looks like it's from Asia, based on the subtitles. Is it a good copy though? You're watching the shittiest copy imaginable, and that's what you're basing your take of the movie on?
He is preparing to go on his first hunt so that he can become a fully fledged member of his clan, but his toxically masculine dad has other ideas and instead orders his brother to kill him because he's the runt of the litter. The situation soon goes the way of your average Scottish wedding, and Lumpy ends up crash landing on Generic Alien Planet Number 2, where his mission is to find and kill the Kalisk, the most powerful and dangerous animal on the planet, and return victorious to Generic Alien Planet Number 1 so that he can take revenge on his toxically masculine dads. I mean, call me crazy here, but why not just go straight back there and kill him anyway?
The Islamic, if you're still with us, does that seem like a fair summation right there, as you, someone who's also seen the movie?
Dads. I mean, call me crazy here, but why not just Generic Alien Planet Number 1 so that he can take revenge on his toxically masculine dads? I mean, call me crazy here, but why not just go straight back there and kill him anyway? I mean, it's not like he's gonna have you back even if you do succeed.
Who's to say? He's gonna kill a monster that no one's been able to kill.
Ah, whatever. Let's just go with it so that the rest of the plot can happen. So Generic Alien Planet Number 2 turns out to be a hostile, danger-filled hellhole where literally every animal, plant and object wants to kill you. It's a bit like Australia, except the locals are more friendly. Anyway, this is where Lumpy runs into quirky android lady who was part of a Weyland-Yutani expedition to the planet until her team got attacked and torn apart, literally, by the Kalisk. Oh yeah, and she can speak fluent Predator. How? Don't know.
Doesn't know. They like spell it out. She explains exactly how she's able to talk and he's able to understand her, and vice versa.
She makes some vague reference to other predators visiting the planet and talking to her, which makes no sense really because Lumpy's brother specifically said they don't go there because they're all afraid of the Kalisk.
That's not what happened, though. She says, I'm using a... Her eyes go wonky, and she tells him, I'm using a universal translator. She explains that in her robot body, she has a program or whatever to Google Translate for predators. And he's going to say that, oh, well, how would they do that? This is hundreds of years in the future, and humans have known about predators since the 80s in this universe. So you don't think that, seriously, like 300 years in the future, they would have had any run-ins with predators? I mean, what the fuck?
Also, what are the chances that they'd land
It's like if you say it in a dumb voice, it sounds dumb, but no, it's not.
right in the very location where she just so happens to be, and not just immediately kill her? Matter of fact, what are the odds that Lumpy would just so happen to run into her as well, when he could have landed literally anywhere on the whole planet? This was all very lucky, wasn't it? Anyway, pretty soon they strike up a deal. Quirky android lady will help him find and kill the Kalisk if he'll take her back to her base camp so that she can be repaired and rescued. And many wacky shenanigans ensue. They're even joined by a cute little alien named Bud who wants to be part of the gang as well.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
But can they hope to take down the most powerful killing machine in the universe?
If you want to argue that this little character is an unnecessary addition to this ensemble, I could humor that. I don't know if this is necessary, but as you know, Dislamek, if you're still here, um, it's kind of an important part of the story. It ties in with the final act like a lot. And I think he works in the story. And that's the thing. If they would have just added the cute thing to add the cute thing, I would have been like, well, that's kind of stupid. But it ties in with the whole it's a story. It's telling a story that's more than just Predator is badass, Predator is super powerful, Predator doesn't talk to anybody, Predator easily or yeah, easily kills his target and is badass. And see, it's like not a movie. There needs to be friction. Stuff needs to happen. Otherwise, it's not a movie. That's the challenge of writing a movie from the perspective of what was a horror movie monster back in the 80s. But people are mad that they're doing anything with it.
The gang as well.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
But can they hope to take down the most powerful killing machine in the universe so that he can finally confront his toxically masculine dad? Is quirky android lady hiding a secret from Lumpy?
Just more poisoning the will, toxically masculine dad. It sort of makes you think that that the dad predator acts like a cartoon misogynist or something. That like he has a Twitter profile that he shit posts on, when really he's a murderer who killed his brother in front of him.
And what became of her sister Tessa, who also went missing during the expedition? The answer, of course, is who the fuck cares? Like I said earlier, your ability to enjoy Predator Badlands is all going to depend on your perspective here. If you're somehow able to forget the whole Predator thing and just see this film as a generic sci-fi adventure movie with light-hearted comedy undertones that's clearly been geared towards a younger audience, then there's probably some enjoyment to be had here.
It's not generic, it's pretty above average. It's getting above average ratings too. A lot of critics have reviewed it. I think it's in the 80s or 90s. And people would be like, oh, it's shills. I'm just like, they've never been nice to the. We just got done talking about how the original got shit.
The visuals are mostly fine. There's fun little action sequences to keep you amused.
The visuals are good. They're not mostly fine. The MCU they're mostly fine. Sometimes it's been really bad lately, though, as I was saying earlier. When it comes to CGI, especially in 2025, when things look worse than they did 20 years ago, this looks like it should. It looks good.
A likable underdog protagonist with a clear emotion.
Can you tell what part of his face is CGI? If you can't, then it's good.
Arc, and a well-worn but still effective central theme of friendship, loyalty, and redemption. That's all very nice, and on that basis, Badlands more or less works as a slightly dumb, undemanding, but reliable sort of movie that doesn't ask too much from its audience. Here's the problem though, it's not a generic sci-fi adventure movie, it's a fucking Predator movie, and that name comes with some pretty important expectations. You don't walk into
Also, creature design in this was really cool. Look at this fucking crazy elephant
comes
thing
with some pretty important expectations. You don't walk into a Predator movie looking for a quirky buddy adventure with cutesy animals and family drama any more than you'd walk into a Saw.
It's not family drama. Again, he's either lying or he's poisoning the fucking well. It's not family drama. He wants revenge because his brother was murdered by his dad. That's actually some pretty intense. It goes above family drama into revenge, flick. Stupid. Like, why is he saying it like that?
Movie looking for a romantic comedy. Honestly, go watch the original Predator, then skip straight to this thing and just think about what you've witnessed. The difference.
What we witnessed that this is a completely different type of movie. This is an action adventure movie. The first was like an action thriller, horror movie, slasher movie almost. I think that our brains should be able to handle that. Oh, they're expanding the universe, and look, they're obviously tying into Alien, and it's going to be a bigger thing. This looks what they're doing with the Alien franchise between Alien Earth, which that was a show. I didn't love it. I finished it, but I thought it was. You can't say it wasn't interesting. That's one thing. It kept me hooked. I'm gonna watch the second season. But what this guy, this director who's done these past 3 Predator movies is building up in with Alien and Predator, what he's building up to seems far more interesting than anything they got going on over at Marvel Studios or Lucasfilms. Like, Lucasfilms perpetually tripping over themselves. Marvel is trying to dig out of the hole they sunk into. And this is the thing, you said, well, Disney controls everything. It's all Disney, Disney, Disney. Then why did Predator Badlands look great? And all these MCU movies look like a fucking video game cartoon. Why is why is Star Wars so much more lame than this is? Well, they could say that it's moving in that direction, but shouldn't this be just as bad as a corny ass Star Wars thing then? I think that they're arguing that it is, but it ain't. It ain't. This is I can't believe this got a PG-13 rating. This is a movie for fucking action fans. Maybe they're trying to, I don't know. I do think that there is validity to the argument that why they put in a Baby Yoda into this thing. I think it works with the screenplay, but did they need to do it?
In tone, style, and intent is more jarring than taking an F1 car to 200 miles per hour and throwing it into reverse. It's insane to think these 2 movies even belong to the same franchise. Quippy humor and animal sidekicks absolutely do not belong anywhere near a Predator movie. I mean, why do you think Shane Black's film was such a gigantic clusterfuck? I don't exactly consider Prey a masterpiece either, but it definitely is compared.
Hold on. The Predator certainly, as he didn't fail because of the Predator dogs. Those are retarded. Don't get me wrong.
Drama any more than you'd walk into a Saw movie looking for a romantic comedy. Honestly, go watch the original Predator, then skip jarring than taking an F1 car to 200 miles. And intent is more jarring than taking an F1 car to 200 miles per hour and throwing it into reverse. It's insane to think these 2 movies even belong to the same franchise. Quippy humor and animal sidekicks absolutely do not belong anywhere near a Predator movie. I mean, why do you think Shane Black's film was such a gigantic clusterfuck?
The humor wasn't funny. It's painfully unfunny. But that's not why the movie sucked. Everything about that movie sucked. If you say what was the bad part about the Predator movie, I'm like, the screenplay was dumb beyond words. They were trying to steal autism from people. What?
You stupid cunt!
Oh wait, I hit
What? What?
It's all very nice, and on that basis, Badlands more or less works as a slightly dumb, undemanding hour and throwing it into reverse. It's insane to think these 2 movies even belong to the same franchise. Quippy humor and animal sidekicks absolutely do not belong anywhere near a Predator movie. I mean, why do you think Shane Black's film was such...
I mean, it's an alien. And he's an alien.
such a gigantic clusterfuck.
And she's a robot. It's not that crazy.
I don't exactly consider Prey a masterpiece either, but it definitely is compared to this thing because at least it took itself and its characters seriously. I can't take any of Badlands seriously because the film itself treats every fight and plot event as a joke.
This is a lot better than Prey. Prey? My issue with Prey is I found it very hard to get immersed in it because it looked like it was just shot on like iPhones, like HD cameras in a national park with people with like super clean hair and perfect skin. Everyone looked too clean. Everything looked very not like a jungle or unforgiving thick forest, except some of that swamp action, but I didn't love Prey. It was alright though.
And don't even get me started on Lumpy's creature design. Like, how the fuck does a movie from 1987 look better than a $100 million Disney project with cutting edge special effects? How have we gone so far backwards?
I mean, what the fuck are we talking about? Why does this... He had a bigger head. They're both ugly motherfuckers. I really... He's got a widow's peak. He's like got a skullet. But you know, there's a lot of things they did in this that looked better than this movie. So
backwards. I honestly can't emphasize enough how soul-crushingly horrible a
they couldn't have pulled this off in the 80s. That shot, they couldn't have done
downgrade this actually is. Then there's just the stuff that's straight up irritating, the biggest of which is by far quirky android lady.
I wouldn't wish that on a broke dick dog.
Holy fuck, man. The moment she shows up on screen, my urge to ram my fist through the TV rose about 500%. Why on earth would you program a synth for a high priority mission like this to act like some ditzy bimbo with Tourette's? She literally never shuts the fuck up, and
Alright, this is again another... I don't know if I've gone over this, but this is not true. When she's first introduced... They have a montage. Oh, I did say this. So I'll say it again. There's a montage of them traveling through the mountains, him carrying her around, and her talking a lot. And even I was just like, is this going to be the whole fucking movie? Because this is going to get annoying. And then they stopped. But someone told Critical Drinker that, oh, she's annoying. She never stops talking. So that makes it in the review. And now people who haven't seen the movie are getting fed.
90% of what she says is inane, unfunny, meaningless babble. It's like being at a party and getting stuck with that one girl who's convinced she's funny as fuck and just won't stop trying to prove it to you. The more I think about it, the more I realize this is literally a Disney-fied version of The Predator, neutered and toothless, with all the tropes and cliches you expect from a Disney movie. An emotionally vulnerable hero on a quest to take down a monster, a sinister family member working against them, a quirky sidekick for comedy banter, a cute little animal friend for merchandising per movie, an emotionally vulnerable to you.
Hold on.
The more I think about it, the more I realize this is literally a Disney-fied version of The Predator, neutered and toothless, with all the tropes and cliches you expect from a Disney movie.
It's really not neutered. It's more action-packed, and they're serious. You know what? It could have used more white blood. He was like stabbing people through the neck and through the sides of their head and stuff, and I could have used some white blood squirting out everywhere. But there still was white blood. It's just not enough. We just saw in Alien Earth that you can get the white blood flowing.
An emotionally vulnerable hero on a quest to take down a monster, a sinister family.
He's not what does he use? God damn it, I wish I had the 10-second
hero on a quest to take down a monster. Some cliches you expect from a Disney movie. An emotionally vulnerable hero on a quest to take down a monster.
He's not emotionally vulnerable. His brother gets killed and all he feels is rage, and he maintains that rage throughout the entire film. He eventually allies up with these two other characters, but he never gets cutesy. They make it a point. He's never a pussy. He's not emotionally vulnerable. He's just angry. It's not like he's crying or anything. It's ridiculous. To emotionally vulnerable. That's not a good summation of that character.
A sinister family member working against them.
He's not working against him. He gets away and the dad doesn't give a fuck. We don't see him. We see him at the beginning of the movie when he gets away from him And then we see him at the very end of the movie when he fucking murks him. So that's not true. Two things, two cliches, not true.
A quirky sidekick for comedy banter.
I guess.
A cute little animal friend for merchandising purposes, and a sequel bait ending to help set up an extended.
Has there been any merchandise for this? Because you figure that they always spoil MCU movies and Disney movies because they have to get the Funko Pops ready. They have to get the Funko Pops ready for when the movie comes out. And that always leaks. I've seen no merchandise for this little character, so that remains to be seen. Usually the merch would already be on the shelves.
Extended cinematic universe. And it all just makes me feel kind of sick. The realization that just like Alien, this is what the Predator franchise has devolved into. A financial commodity instead of a sharp and violent artistic endeavor, reshaped and remolded into a safe, inoffensive, focus-tested corporate product.
Look at what the state of the franchise was for the past 30 fucking years. Since Predator 2, 10 years nothing. Alien vs. Predator movies, garbage. 2010, good movie, nobody watched it, dead in the water. Shane Black. This is the best time to be a Predator fan since the day Predator 2 came out. Or maybe since Predators came out, but nobody went and saw it. I didn't see it in theaters. Bad me. That was before I went and saw everything. Nowadays, I see everything. But it makes you sick. You should be happy after what we have went through just in less than 10 years. Shane Black was 2018. Give me a fucking break.
Ready to be churned out by the truckload until it becomes financially unviable. Well, based on the opening weekend projections, that eventuality might come sooner than expected. And you know what? It probably fucking should too. Predator Badlands isn't exactly a bad movie, but it is a terrible Predator movie that doesn't even hold a candle to the original. And if you want my advice, you'll save your money and catch it on streaming in a month or so. Believe me, you're not missing much. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
I mean, I don't know how fucking high your bar has to be. Like, are there any good movies? Do good movies exist? But yeah, that ridiculous. I don't even know if I'm going to sit through this entire one. That took 45 minutes to get through. 8 minutes, and this one's 25 minutes, so we'll see. Already exhausting. They came out with another Predator movie. Can you guys believe it? Oh, it wasn't the way I wanted it to be. How did I want it to be? Just like the original one. I want them to just remake the movie, except not as good. I need to grab a beer. One moment, please hold. Okay. Why am I all up in the camera like this? I've been like this the whole time. God damn it. I guess I was like, fuck. Whatever. All right. Where's my sound at? What the fuck?
I can't do this, Sam.
Oh,
I can't do this, Sam.
my headphones are unplugged.
I can't do this, Sam.
I can't do this, Sam. I just can't do this. When I think about what I saw yesterday with the movie Predator Badlands, my brain just wants to run away. It was a terrible experience, one that had me cringing and laughing with embarrassment throughout the entire film. Now, you might have noticed that there's sort of a controversy online over this film, where a lot of critics seemed very praiseworthy towards it, but some fans of the Predator
Sweetest Predator yet in a deft, disarmingly kind franchise entry. Richard Lawson. This is such bait.
franchise were taking issue with some of the things that they praised about it, like the Predator is going to talk about his feelings and
Yeah, it was nothing like that, by the way. The movie was the sweetest Predator yet. Disarmingly kind-hearted franchise entry. No. See, all these people have their little agendas, and it's all just for clicks.
the Predator is going to talk about his feelings and being sensitive. Does that really sound like what Predator is supposed to be? Well, there were people in response to that who said, "You haven't seen the movie yet. This works. This is amazing." And I didn't really know what to think about it, and I have seen the very first Predator, and we will talk about it. Now that I have seen the movie, I have to tell you, any criticism that has come forth about what this movie does to the Predator franchise and how embarrassing it is on that front has not gone far enough. This is not this is a movie, literally the plot. I need you to understand this. And there was false advertising going behind the scenes with this movie. False advertising that I interestingly also saw with Tron Ares, where Tron Ares did not reveal that Greta Lee was really the main character and it was actually about her. Predator Badlands. The trailer made it look like it was going to be a super serious entry into the Predator franchise, probably going to be R-rated until we found out that it was going to be PG-13, and there's a reason for that, where he is going on a mission to prove himself with his robot companion, and maybe there was thought that maybe that could have worked, whatever you thought about it. I just didn't have faith because I just don't expect sequels for the Alien and Terminator and Predator franchises to ever work out, but what I didn't expect is this. Now, the movie that Predator Badlands actually is, once again, it is not remotely the movie that you have seen in any of the advertising. The advertising hid what this movie actually is. Predator Badlands.
First of all, I'd like to hard disagree. It was pretty much, besides the Baby Yoda monster that they take on, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, but a little bit more. The layer that kind of ties into Alien Earth, which I believe she says she hasn't even watched, but is commenting on, the tie into Alien Earth stuff and the robot stuff, I didn't expect that, and that was really cool. And I'm just like, oh man, ooh, how is this going to expand some more? But she hasn't seen the show, so that would have went over her head if she has seen this, in fact seen this.
Is an overt, in-your-face story about an insecure runt of a predator.
Insecure. This guy is oozing with overconfidence in the movie. they say he's like, which I need to kill a monster. I need to hunt something for to be whatever. It's a rite of passage. And he's like, what's this one? He's like, it's the most deadly creature in the galaxy, and no one's ever been able to kill it. And since this guy's an underdog, he's like, I'll do it. He's like, I'll do it. I'll fucking kill it. I don't give a fuck. It's like, so Insecure. That's not any way anyone who's seen the movie would describe this character, which is why it's weird seeing as how she just saw it yesterday and how she's parroting something that was completely false that Drinker also said. Unsure of himself and insecure are two words that do not describe this character. He's overconfident and fearless to a fault, even. He never, even when he's about to die, which happens multiple times in this movie, it doesn't seem like he's sweating it very much.
Trying to prove himself to his clan, but he meets a robot that helps him get in touch with his feelings and talk about his feelings and the importance of...
That doesn't happen in the movie either. Get in touch with his feelings and talk about his feelings. He doesn't talk about his feelings. There's one scene where they talk about their personal lives. One scene in the whole movie. And it's when they're camping out during nightfall. And she's like, what's your deal? What you doing here? He's like, I'm here to kill this monster. And I'm going to go back home and kill my father because he killed my brother. And she's just like, oh, I'm trying to get back with my robot friend. And he's like, is that like a sister? And she's like, yeah, I guess it is like a sister. And then there was the little monster guy who did some cutesy stuff, which really turned me off, to be honest. Again, I say that the argument's like, why'd they have to put a baby Yoda in this? I didn't, by the end of the movie, I didn't mind it, but I wasn't in love with that part of the movie. But that's the extent of anything talking about feelings or getting in touch with your feelings. That doesn't happen in the fucking movie. And I may have been on 75 milligrams of Delta 8 edibles, but I would have fucking remembered that. I was really high, full disclosure, but I would have remembered because it would have turned me off too if it happened. It didn't fucking happen though. All right, let's rewind and see if I missed anything.
It's not remotely the movie that you have seen in any of the advertising. The advertising...
It's the exact movie that they advertised.
Hid what this movie actually is. Predator Badlands is an overt, in-your-face story about an insecure runt of a predator trying to prove himself to his clan, but he meets a robot that helps him get in touch with his feelings and talk about his feelings.
Doesn't talk about his feelings.
And the importance of being sensitive to other creatures, and teaches him to make friends. And he even gets...
The friends part kind of seems to come naturally to him. He doesn't really seem to need help. It seems like he finds himself in a situation and he knows where he stands. Things just kind of end up that way. Like it's the conclusion to come to when he was stuck in the predicament he is, because after all, he's an underdog in this story. They mention in the marketing that he's a runt, and people still are just like, oh, it's a bloody redesign. He's shot onto this planet with minimal gear. He doesn't have like the mask or anything like that. He just has a few weapons, and some of those get stolen straight away. And he's at a huge disadvantage because a movie needs to happen. A movie needs to happen, you know?
Some cute pets along the way on the movie. Do you think that that's a joke? Do you think that that's an exaggeration? No.
It's a lie. It's a series of lies and exaggerations, and you're leaving out the fact that it's a monster fight. Like every scene is like a massive monster fight. He's fighting things in like every scene and dodging danger and stuff. There's a few pauses for exchanges of dialogue that you have called him being told to talk about his feelings and him being all mopey and shit, when that didn't happen. That's you just talking about one scene around a campfire and not mentioning the almost nonstop action that this movie provides. So that's why you're full of shit, and that's why I could confidently say that you're lying, Jester Bell.
Oh, the Predator literally gets cute animal pets throughout the movie that he is friends with, and he makes all these friends. Like, you're watching, you know how, you know, in a Moana, like like a Disney princess movie, she will have like her little cute animal friends for comic relief, and that'll help her along. That's what happens in this movie.
Except the animals are alien monsters that kill things.
Now, before we go into that, like, what would possibly be the problem in a movie about...
And it was balanced. They seemed to keep it balanced. They introduced this kind of cutesy element, but they didn't overdo it. It wasn't like they had fucking R2D2 fucking Jar Jar Binks in every scene. See, this is the thing. She was the android. She was annoying for a second, and they toned it down. They had a tiny bit of cutesy stuff, and then the second I thought that you better stop that, they stopped it. In fact, they wrote that alien out of the movie for like half an hour. After I said, that's enough cute stuff, they wrote the thing out of them. They ditched it. So they knew what they were doing. But these people were going in here looking to take this apart.
Like this alien creature who makes friends and goes on an adventure. What's the problem with that? The problem is this is a Predator movie. Do you know what Predator is? Let's go back to it. Predator was a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger back in...
Yeah, it was a movie. And then it was another movie. And then it was a bunch of comic books that expand on the lore, and a lot of different stuff happened. You know that, what does she think that Alien vs. Predator is based on? This is all building up to a fucking Alien vs. Predator movie, and they're tying in elements from the comics to build up to that. And they're like, what are you doing? This isn't right. But it is. It's not, I mean, they're not directly adapting any comic books, but they're sprinkling in all this stuff. And that's what we've been asking for since the first Alien vs. Predator, which sucked.
In the 80s. It was essentially a slasher movie. You know, it mixed elements of action and the slasher genre. It could be considered a horror movie. It definitely had horror elements. Now, the original Predator movie, it was an insanely alpha male masculine movie, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying? Like... This is the movie that you go to when you're trying to express like a caricature of alpha male masculinity and being so macho. Like, the movie was like setting up, you know, it's all...
What was the original Predator satirizing? 80s action genre. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Muscle and heavy artillery and guns and these army guys who are really macho and tough. But there was a point to that. The point of like having these super macho guys go out into the jungle here is that was a setup, because you just talk, these are like the tough guys, the stereotypical super tough guys who can take...
Yeah, but so much has happened in 40 years. To just put a bunch of muscle guys in a jungle and do that again, that's not expanding on the thing. That's ignoring the comics and just like, hey, let's stay stunted with what we could do with the Predator. when they've already so many cool things have been done that just haven't been brought to the big screen.
Take on anything. And then these characters are shaking in their boots over this mysterious creature who is hunting them and picking them off one by one.
Billy, you know something. What is it?
I'm scared, Pancho.
You ain't afraid of no man.
There's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man.
And largely in the movie, the creature remains mysterious until a reveal at the end, where he still maintains a lot of his mystique. But that was the point of the Predator movie. It's this, super...
So you want big guys in the jungle, and you want to keep the Predator concealed until the end of the movie. I hate to break it to you, but they did that twice, and it was kind of silly the second time around because we already know what the fucking Predator looks like.
Super macho masculine slasher movie with these characters, and they're fighting this creature that hunts human beings for sport. Like, that is the motive that we get from the Predator. It just does all of this for sport. The Predator is a horror movie character, essentially. So what Predator Badlands does is make a horror movie icon go around and talk about his feelings and make friends with a special robot girl and make little pets who smile at him, and one kind of becomes his dog, and he learns to make friends, and he learns to be...
He doesn't talk about his feelings. That's one example. I already explained it. And he fights monsters for 90% of the time. It's so retarded. I think I knew there was a reason why I'm like, you should watch this on stream. And I'm just like, we're like 6 minutes in, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Be nice. And he gets the entire theme. Like, this isn't just something undercurrent. This is the entire movie, the entire overt theme that they talk about.
It's the entire movie. No, it isn't. 90% of it, he's fighting monsters.
Openly is the importance of friendship and sensitivity in a Predator movie. This is the equivalent.
I'm comfortable saying she's a full-on liar. This isn't just like, oh, well, you guys are having a difference of opinion. She's lying about what happened in the movie.
Equivalent of doing a movie about how, hey, do you think Freddy Krueger was ever bullied in school? Do you think that's why he goes off and he attacks children? Maybe we should talk to him. Maybe Freddy Krueger just needs to get in touch with his feelings. Maybe
And then come up with a retarded scenario and say, isn't that dumb? Even though the thing you're talking about isn't doing that.
He just needs a friend. This is the equivalent if you made a movie about how Godzilla's parents divorced, and that's why he's marching through the city of Tokyo destroying everything every movie. Like, it's that. It's like if you took a horror film like...
One more time?
A friend. This is the equivalent if you made a movie about how Godzilla's parents divorced, and that's why he's marching through the city of Tokyo destroying everything every movie. Like, it's...
This takes place hundreds of years after the Predator and the Predator 2 and even the AVPs, which aren't canon. So no, it doesn't do that. That would may be true. And the Predator isn't fucking Godzilla. The Predator is a number of different aliens. There's different Predators in each movie. It's not one guy. This is a Predator who was born hundreds of years after the events of all the movies that you're talking about. So it literally changes nothing. It's just a story about one random runt predator. And you know what? This movie was completely different than the animated movie that's canon that this dude did. And it was completely different than Prey. So the next movie after that, the Predator could be doing something totally fucking different, and it really doesn't fucking matter. And also, but the only reason that it annoys me is because she's lying, and she's also wrong. Her premise is faulty.
It's that. It's like if you took a horror film like Michael Myers or just any sort of horrific character. Like you said, oh, the Jaws, the shark from Jaws, he just wanted a buddy. Like, maybe we should all have lunch with him sometime. That is the equivalent. It's like someone watched the original Predator movie and got scared by it and got upset by the mean Predator. Oh, that's gross. He's like skinning human beings alive and killing people and ripping their spine. A predator, like their entire...
They actually did a spine rip in this movie. No, it was like he's looking at the comics, and they were making out a roadmap to what they're going to do. And instead of announcing it ahead of time, like, oh, we're going to have a Universal Monsters movie, he's like covert doing this and just coming out a movie. We'll see how this one does, and maybe we'll get to make the next one, and then we'll see how this one does, and maybe we'll get to make the next one, and then we'll see how this TV show does, and then maybe we could tie these together. What he's doing is actually really smart, and he's doing it with class and not doing it in a stupid way where they announce things years in advance and then it all crashes and burns, which is what you guys seem to be trying to do to this budding franchise. And it ain't bad. It doesn't need to not exist. I mean, if you really don't like it that much, it doesn't seem like you would like anything, because you seem more mad. These people seem more mad about this than what Shane Black did to the franchise 7 years ago. I can't remember like a fraction of the outrage people have had over this versus that abomination piece of shit movie.
Your goal is to catch you, kill you, and rip your spine up through your skull and rip it out and scream like a maniac that they are the superior being. That is what a predator is supposed to do. That is what the creature in franchise is supposed to be. And it's like someone watched the original movie and went, ooh, that's gross and scary. I don't like that. I need to soften this up for myself. You know, maybe there's a nice predator.
And again, we know who made it. It's the same guy who came out with that gore fest, Predator, Killer of Killers. So you're wrong.
Out there. Maybe he, does he have daddy issues? Does the predator just have daddy issues? Because that's the entire point of the lead predator in this movie. He's a runt, he's insecure, he's emotional, and he can't get the...
And again, she's referencing meth addict. He's the one who planted the seed, predator with daddy issues. And then all of these people who are in this sort of, ooh, all these people who say the same things as each other, all of a sudden they're all using daddy issues. Daddy issues is just a thing to make him sound effeminate when it's really it's standard revenge movie type content. The fucking, you killed my brother and you're my father, now I will kill you. It's fucking you'd be calling fucking samurai movies daddy issues and shit like that with this fucking faulty logic.
Does he have daddy issues? Does the predator just have daddy issues? Because that's the entire point of the lead predator in this movie. He's a runt, he's insecure, he's emotional, and he can't get the...
He's not insecure, and only emotion he shows is anger and rage. You're just making this up. You're regurgitating stuff other retards have said.
Approval of his father, so it's literally...
He doesn't want the approval of his father. He wants to kill his father. He's never in the business of, I want to go back and get my father's approval. He has to do a rite of passage at all of this species, all these predators have to do. And why the fuck would you have a problem with that? They have to have their first hunt. You have a problem with that? Oh, you're seeking approval for someone? You have to hunt something? What the fuck are you talking about? And he was saying from the beginning, I'm going to kill this motherfucker.
They invented a predator with daddy issues. That is what they did.
No, they didn't. You're lying.
And once again, like it's like...
Or you're being stupid. It's one of the two.
They watch that movie and they're just like, oh, it's so gross and so scary. We need to have a predator who makes friends and makes little buddies. Like, this movie reminded me of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi because of how much humor there is. Once again, you don't see this in any of the advertisement. No, this movie is not PG-13. Like, the excuse they gave is like, well, there's no human blood in it. I mean, that's true. No, the reason why this movie is PG-13, not R-rated like most of the other Predator movies, is because it's literally a quirky family movie.
No, it isn't. It's very violent. They just skirt an R rating. They're stabbing people through the throat and through the sides of the head. They're gutting monsters, there's dismemberments. It's actually shocking to me that this got a PG-13. Alien vs. Predator from back in 2004 or whatever, that feels like something that is shot and cut to be PG-13 to get younger people in. This was leagues better than that, and this isn't true, what she's saying right now.
Family comedy. That is what this is. It checks all the boxes.
It's not a comedy. It's definitely not a comedy. There's maybe a handful of little maybe things in there to make you chuckle. It's not a fucking comedy. It's not even close. It's not as many jokes as a Star Wars movie, which I wouldn't say those are especially jokey, but it's no MCU, that's for sure. It's nothing like that. There's a couple things that might trigger a chuckle. Maybe a few funny things that the robot says. She might be a little comic relief, but it's not a family comedy. You'd be kind of. I wouldn't take young kids to this. This is a lot more violent than MCU stuff or Star Wars. Star Wars won't even like decapitate people anymore.
Boxes that you might see in a Disney princess movie, needing to discover yourself, learning the power of friendship,
See,
getting your
she
little
has to keep ramping it up. It's like a Disney princess movie. So
animal sidekicks. That is what this movie is. Now, Grace Randolph was saying Predator has a girlfriend. That is wrong. Disney would never make a movie where there is actually a love interest these days. But like, it checks all the boxes of a Disney family movie, so that it reminded me of The Force Awakens. Like, as soon as the Elle Fanning robot character comes on screen, she is used to constantly talk and constantly make jokes and rob the Predator of any kind of scariness or seriousness or brutality possible, because she turns.
what's up, TechraTube? I'm reacting to bullshit artists and their cringe. How are you doing?
Everything into a joke. And that's the point of it. And she says that she does that because she's trying to get him to lighten up, Like, that is what this movie does. It completely robs all fear and all mystique of what is essentially this horror movie villain.
It's not a fucking horror movie. It's an action adventure movie. And it's expanded into the fucking comic books. The comic books are action. It's so retarded. Yeah, she's shitting on Predator Badlands. And she's saying things that are straight up not true about it. I saw the movie, and she is full on lying a lot. And she keeps repeating herself, so she's telling multiple lies.
And that's the whole thing. Predator was always supposed to be a mysterious character. Different films would give us bits.
Yeah, but the mystery was done at the end of the first fucking movie. The mystery is out. Everyone knows what the Predator is once he's revealed after you see the first movie. And that was 40 fucking years ago.
Pieces, but you were supposed to like leave just an element of mystery to this culture and this race. But from the very opening scene, the very first
you must hate the comic books then, Miss. She's constantly she shit on the new Fantastic Four movie, which honestly, if there's like good, mid, and bad MCU movies, it's up there in the good ones. The latest Fantastic Four movie. Almost picked up a fight still working on a dude with US Quan, but yeah. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying.
Different films would give us bits and pieces, but you were supposed to like.
In the comic books, they got rid of all that mystery, so get over it. We're doing movies with. They're tying in the comic book stuff. Alien vs. Predator origin is a fucking comic book. So you're going to get some stuff that isn't in the first two movies.
Leave just an element of mystery to this culture and this race. But from the very opening scene, the very first 4 minutes of this film, we get the Predator talking. Like, he talks throughout this entire film, always in subtitles, and he talks just like a modern day American. Like,
it's because it's translated. It's like, why are all these Japanese people talking like modern day Americans? No, it's translated from a different language. And he doesn't talk that much, actually. He doesn't talk all throughout the movie because at the beginning there's some dialogue, and I'm just like, they better not be doing this Star Wars holiday special talking in gibberish language the whole movie. But no, he cuts it out. He doesn't talk that much. It's just the right amount. She's incorrect. Or lying.
And so does his brother, who gets killed trying to save him. But, they had the big reveal at the end of the first Predator film, when Arnold Schwarzenegger finally gets to see the ugly face of this Predator. Well, now they've taken this face and changed it, but because they've essentially transformed the Predator into a human. His face now is so expressive, and so emotional all the time. Like, once again, all the fear is taken away from this character, and it's embarrassing. Like, once again, it's like if you made a movie like Tea Time with Godzilla, and Godzilla.
It's embarrassing that your action movie isn't a horror movie.
You are completely retarded.
Is your buddy Godzilla is now Barney the dinosaur or something? It's embarrassing. It's like, what if I took a scene from Godzilla destroying the city and played Disney princess music over it? That would look pretty ridiculous.
What if I did something completely retarded?
Wouldn't it? Because that's not what Godzilla is. That's not the tone that movie is supposed to strike. But when you take things with two completely clashing tones and approaches and put them together, it looks ridiculous. And that's why I was laughing in tears in a bad way throughout Predator Badlands, because I'm like, you're
She seems really not irritating to hang out with, doesn't she?
Sitting around the campfire and you're talking about your feelings and your daddy issues and how you feel like you can't live up and
He didn't say that. She's lying again. And it's a 3-minute scene in between action scenes.
And the robot is explaining about how you need to be sensitive, and like and she wants you to go back and save your dog friend that you made, and you're making friends with animals now. It's embarrassing. It's a clash on the level of, like, let's say if when Frozen 3 came out, also
Nope,
a franchise,
skip.
an innocent franchise with a lot of humor and all that stuff, Predator movie, then the movie is good. To be fair, I can understand where they're coming from. When, unlike a lot of the movies I've seen this year, this movie at least tries to do the bare minimum. At least it has two defined protagonists with two defined personalities. It has a defined arc for the main character. The pacing is all right, where I wouldn't say that it felt like we were lingering on any scenes too long. There was a decent balance of action and dialogue. And
fast-paced.
The movie was as long as it needed to be. It didn't feel like it was drawn out or anything like that. Now, if this was just an original film about an alien learning to be sensitive or something, if this was a completely original film, then
That's not the...
I would probably just give it a pass. That would be fine. Would it be anything groundbreaking? Would I ever watch it again? Maybe no, but I could give it a pass. Once again, the problem is...
And we have already established it happens in the fucking comic books. The Predators make allies with all kinds of people. The actual humans, not just powerful robots. The Alien vs. Predator movie, if they base it too much off the comic book, these people are in for a rude awakening.
That it is a Predator movie. Now, I want to talk about the element I mentioned in the beginning about how the original Predator movie, I got the sense that it wasn't made for my demographic. Like, it is a super male-centered movie, and it was made for adult men. That was who that movie was for. And it's so masculine that I out of like the old sci-fi, that kind of mix horror elements with them, with those movies like Alien and Terminator and all of that, I think that Predator is the most inaccessible one for a female audience. But for me, it's like I just enjoy anything as long as it's a good story and it's really intriguing, and I thought that the movie was. But I also recognize it was not a movie made for women. And I guess that's another thing, knowing the trends these days, you would not have a movie like Predator made under Disney, and that's part of the problem. And this is always...
Yeah, women are going to love this movie because the women who wouldn't want to watch the original Predator will love watching this because of a cute character that isn't in any of the advertisements.
Alien wasn't as masculine because you had a female lead, and she was a very strong female lead, but, like, these were essentially horror films, if you really want to lay it out, but that does not fit.
And then it became comic books and action movies.
With Disney's,
I'm repeating myself because she's just going in a circle now.
I only got through an episode in like 10 minutes, but I heard what happened as the show went on is the alien essentially becomes a pet during the show, this horrific creature who's supposed to be scary.
So I'm going to base my summation of Alien Earth on other people who make just as bombastic, hyperbolic summaries of movies that are completely inaccurate. So I'm going to go off of the completely inaccurate people who say that the Predator has daddy issues because the movie has a revenge film element to it where he's going to kill his dad to avenge his brother. It's all so stupid. The stretches these people have to do to come to these conclusions are ridiculous. I mean, there's stuff you could... there's stuff that I thought was not great about Predator Badlands, but all of the complaints these people are bringing to the table aren't even fucking true. It's like beyond exaggerating. It's to the point that they're just making shit up. Yeah, an AVP predator allied with a human. Yeah, that's in the movie. Even that one was a little bit, it had elements of the comic book. In Predator 2, predators didn't ally, but showed respect to the dude who killed the predator and gave him that gun. Yeah. Definitely.
And the same things happened with Predator, where it needs to become a jokey family movie. I can't emphasize enough. You know how in The Last Jedi and in the MCU, they're constantly undercutting and making sure that you can't feel any emotion or tension with jokes? That is what this movie does. It makes sure that you are not going to find anything scary about this Predator. You are not going to be intimidated by them all, because we're going to find that he's just a super sensitive soul who's super emotional and just, needs to understand it about himself and needs to care about others. And we're going to tell jokes throughout the entire film so that you won't take anything so seriously. Like the pets that the Predator...
That isn't true. I mean, they need to hammer this in with their narrative, like MCU, Disney, all their bullshit with their fucking billion catchphrases. But this doesn't fit into the mold. But they're trying to hammer it in. Same thing that happened to Furiosa. And I think that they're partially responsible. I mean, Mad Max movies don't make a ton of money, but telling millions of people that the Mad Max movie by the guy who's made all of the Mad Max movies since the 70s is some woke girl boss movie, lying to millions of people and telling them that had to have hurt some of the sales. And now they're trying to do the same thing to this movie. It seems.
Gets in this movie, as he's, making best friends with this robot, and he incidentally rescues an animal, and that animal.
Cringe content creators. Oh, I responded to I looked at Critical Drinker right before this. Hell yeah, they were. And you know what? George Miller, that's his name. And you know what? Odds are we're not going to see another one ever again. Because you know why? Furiosa didn't do good, and the dude is like 120 years old. He's not long for this world. And to expect him to go out in the desert and shoot another Mad Max movie over 10 years after the last one he did, well, Furiosa was just a few years ago, but that might be it. That might be it for Mad Max movies. And these fucking not her, I don't put the blame on Jester Ball, but the Nerdrotics, Critical Drinkers. Yeah, who have a financial incentive and player hating on everything. I'd say they're a little bit partially responsible. To what extent, I don't know, but I'm sure that they turned a few people away from buying tickets to that movie. And they're definitely going to turn people away from buying tickets to this movie. If you just go down to the comments in any of these videos, they're so captured in this culture war shit. And I hate woke shit as much as the next guy, but these people are so... They're like NPCs. They're like culture war NPCs, where they just repeat the same canned phrases over and over again. Girl boss, Mary Sue. And it's just like, oh no. Oh no. These people are broken. Paid shills to sway public opinion. Well, this is different. Yeah, well, yeah. They are. They're sort of like they're anti-shills who their financial incentive, everything needs to be terrible. Otherwise, how are they going to make money? How we need something to make fun of.
Well, smiles at him and licking him like a dog and wants to be his pet, and he leaves it behind, and then the robot's like, you should go find him, and he does, and then he's able to make friends with another creature by feeding it berries. It's all stuff that you might get in the Disney movie. Like, you have to check the boxes of these furry creatures. Not these furry creatures, they're not furry, but it reminded me of the Porgs. Like, Disney always has to insert their predator as...
You know what I will say upon watching this? I'm saying, oh, I get it now. They're trying to make Alien and Predator into its own Star Wars. I mean, they're soft doing it. They already have the Alien Earth show. They have 3 Predator movies in the past year that are all they all tie in together. And I think they are trying to make their own Star Wars and introduce all kinds of different new species and stuff. I think she's right to an extent, but it seems like a Star Wars is going to be more directed towards adults instead of little kids. Because Predator Badlands definitely wasn't a movie you could bring little kids to, despite the fact that she keeps repeating that it's a Disney princess movie for little kids.
Well, but it just does not fit with what this franchise is supposed to be. The Predator was a smart slasher movie where the entire point was the concept was supposed to be horrifying, interesting.
For the first movie, and she's repeated herself 100 times now, the comic books expanded on that.
And horrifying. And now all of the mystique has been taken away from that, and you just have, this insecure, sensitive predator who's made a bunch of friends along the way and has learned the importance of friendship.
How many times she repeated that? I should have counted.
And being sensitive towards others. So, I just don't know anything more that I could possibly say about this movie. It just doesn't work because it's Disneyfying.
You've already repeated yourself like a dozen times, and there is still fucking how long? There's 7 minutes left in this fucking video.
These, essentially, I will just say horror franchises. It's Disneyfying these horror franchises into
72,000.
Like Disney, even long before. Like I remember, I was 12 years old. I didn't think Disney should buy Star Wars because I'm like, Disney can't make like a Star Wars project because Disney already had a reputation back then. As much as I like them for their own stuff, of needing to transform everything into their safe, family-friendly brands, and that is what they've done with these franchises. So one last thing I want to say before I dip out of this topic is that I think that there is going to be conversation around this movie. No,
One last thing to say. 6.5 minutes fucking left.
There was a point in this movie. There was a point that, like, this just checks all the boxes of the Disney tropes. Like, I mentioned the animals and the comedy, and there was a moment in this movie, like, the Predator, once again, like, he has to go off and save his female robot friend, but of course he can't save her because that would be bad. That would be a damsel in distress, so she has to rescue herself before he comes along. I might just have a video about all of this and how many times I've seen that trope. Ever since The Force Awakens, where Rey had to save herself, where they let a female character get captured, but then she has to rescue herself even as the male characters come to rescue her because that would be sexist or something. Like, I've seen that so many times. I have to do a video on it, but I want to talk because I think that there is going to be conversation around this movie and it's already going to come up about, how this Predator essentially has feminized the franchise, of how it might not be hard to see, like, the Predator franchise was male skewing, like it was completely for men. So it's maybe not hard to imagine now that you get to Disney and they're more of a girl's brand and they're more appealing to families, how this franchise once again becomes, for lack.
Yeah, Disney. Disney's done a bunch of stupid shit, but
Their word feminized. How now
these people have a ridiculous amount of confirmation bias, and it all needs to fit into their view of Disney to the point where she is lying up a storm about what actually
it's not this ultra masculine scary franchise. We have a female character, a co-lead who's trying to help this monster like find his feelings and all that kind of stuff. And now this movie is all about.
She repeats it here. You're just in a loop, and there's cuts in this. I think I've seen cuts. I think she edits. Why wouldn't you edit all of this out?
Having empathy for others, and it's about your emotions and all that kind of stuff. I will say it depends on the people that you get to work on the project. Once again, I'm a person where I like the original Predator movie because I think it's a really good movie, even though I recognize it's not it's not made for women. It's not made for women at all. You can enjoy it because it's good, but that's not the major demographic. But yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Like, this does check off all those boxes that we've seen, where I know we're talking about a creature here, but it is a male lead and he has to be, made super emotional and all those things. And his
He's not super emotional. He acts like a predator.
Journey is about empathy and all of that, and it takes away all the scary elements about the Predator franchise and all the tough elements, and all of the ways that franchise was male skewing in the past, and now it's just for girls and families. I saw a tweet that said Predator Badlands is Predator for girls, and I completely agree with that. That's what it feels.
And another retard said that. That was the heel versus baby face guy who's like, fucking pronouns. Another one of these same dipshits. So she's just regurgitating. I don't even think she saw the movie. Because she hasn't talked about, it's 90%. It's like action scene.
Like, but once again, what I'm saying is, like, that's not what it's supposed to be. Like, Wicked should not be a super masculine franchise. Legally Blonde, Wicked remade this franchise for the movie, but it just made me think a lot more than the advertising, because these movies were made like years ago, where they thought things in society were going to be very different, and that people still agreed with these ideologies, and I guess feminizing these franchises. With Disney, is Avatar, Fire, and Ash going to be another story-wise bomb? Like, I don't think it's going to bomb the box office, but is Avatar, Fire, and Ash going to be like this? Like, it's crazy. They turned the Predator into a quirky MCU movie, or I just was more reminded of Disney Star Wars, a quirky Disney princess movie where Predator is just a sensitive guy.
She has to keep a Disney princess movie, a quirky Disney princess movie. Who's the fucking Disney princess? All right, I think we've seen enough. Slay is an idiot. Actually, I should keep her around. Maybe I'll start doing this more often. But that was fucking... That was exhausting. But yeah, guys, Predator's sexist, yeah. I'm gonna end this stream just so my video game stream will not be tainted by it. Yeah, I might come back just for a bit to play something. But if I don't, y'all make sure to stay metal and hail Satan. And go see Predator Badlands. It's actually really good. It's a really above average action adventure comedy. They're not comedy. I almost fucking action adventure movie. Yeah, it sets up some stuff that could be pretty cool. Yeah. Peace out, guys.